Hey, my friend, welcome to this 83K session. Thank you so much for joining me. I want to share with you my 3 deadly mistakes that I made as a speaker, author, and coach that cost me $8.2 million and almost caused me to quit on my God-given assignment. You see, I've seen it way too many times. Very gifted people like yourself who just didn't know what to do. And when you don't know what you don't know, you just keep doing what you've always done. You see, my friend, you don't need motivation right now. You see, if I motivate you to do wrong things, you're just going to keep doing wrong things faster. See, as an author, speaker, and coach, I want to help you do 4 important things. Number 1, I want to help you get known so that you could get on bigger stages. Number 2, I want to help you sell more books so you can make a greater difference out in the world. Number 3, I want to help you attract high-ticket clients so you can make more money. And finally, number 4, I want to help you gain more influence so you can scale your impact. You see, I am offering this free training because I have a course called 83K Academy where I mentor authors, speakers, and coaches to help them build 6, 7, and even 8-figure expert empires. And I figure that if I give you this training and you learn my top 3 mistakes, you'll want to continue with me to learn the other 100 mistakes that I've made throughout the last 30 years of being in this industry. Now, I want you to know this is not some sort of sales pitch where you're going to listen to a sales pitch the entire time. No, I am here to add value to your life. And if I waste any part of your time throughout this session, just hit me up with an email and I'll send you a $100 gift card so you can go have dinner on me, okay? So let's dive right into this. In 2002, I had this really big desire to travel the world and to speak to thousands of people. I wanted to become a best-selling author. I had a desire to be a coach, to help others maximize their potential. But in the first 10 years, I was stuck. I was hitting my head against a cement wall and I failed horribly. As a matter of fact, I was stuck going to these small little churches of maybe 30 to 100 people. And if they gave me $500 for the week, they thought they were doing a big thing for me. It caused me to get in $180,000 of credit card debt, and I had no money in the bank. Then I was forced to sell everything I had, and I had to move in to my mother-in-law's house. I jokingly say that was hell on earth, right? Life doesn't get any worse than having to live with a mother-in-law that doesn't like you. But at that stage in my life, I'll never forget it. I looked up towards God and I said, God, what am I doing wrong? Now my ego said, hey, I can figure this out on my own. And at that time in my life, I thought, all I need is me and God, and together we can figure this whole thing out. But you know, I was enlightened by the book of Proverbs, chapter 1, verse 5, that it says that a wise man will listen and get counsel. When I started to look at that proverb, I started to realize that in order for me to go to the next level, I needed to find somebody who was super successful at what I wanted to become. I needed to find somebody who had already spoken on really big stages, who was already a best-selling author, who already had built a consulting business that was generating millions of dollars. And I know the old thing is iron sharpens iron. And a lot of times we think, oh, we just find somebody else who's like us and together we get together and we make each other feel good. You see, what I didn't need back then, I didn't need a cheerleader just telling me, hey, keep going, Keith, keep going, Keith, keep going, Keith. No, I needed someone who would tell me what I was doing wrong, the mistakes I was making. I didn't need a peer, right? I needed a mentor, because iron sharpens iron is not a dull piece of blade sharpening a dull piece of blade. No. In order for iron to be sharpened, one piece of iron has to be stronger than the other piece of iron. And when I started to realize this for myself, wow, what I need to find is a mentor who will tell me the mistakes that I'm making. And I found just that. And that mentor started to point out a lot of mistakes, but I'm going to share with you the top 3 that he pointed out to me that changed everything really, really fast. As a matter of fact, 3 years is all it took. I want you to think about this. I went from being stuck in small little churches, and 3 years later, I was speaking in some of the largest churches literally in the world. I went from being in these little churches to speaking on the largest business seminar company literally in the world called Get Motivated Business Seminars. I went from being $180,000 in credit card debt and 3 years later building a multi-million-dollar expert empire. I went from living in my mother-in-law's house to buying the house that I live in right now on the water, completely debt-free. See, I believe with all my heart that every Christian speaker, author, and coach listening to me right now has the potential to touch 1 million people's lives, and you have the potential to make $1 million a year. If that's you and you want to make a bigger difference and you want to make a fortune, I want you to post yes down below. Come on, go ahead. Post yes down below, because I believe it's possible. Now the question is, do you believe that it's possible? So let's dive in to the very first deadly mistake that I made. I hope you're going to take notes on this. Deadly mistake number 1. I worked really, really hard to become an invisible generalist instead of a recognized expert. Wow. You see, my friend, my mentor told me, he said, Keith, he said, you're broke because you're an amateur. I was like, wow, that was like a punch in the face. And maybe some of you have a higher opinion of yourself. You see, at that stage in my life, I thought I was pretty knowledgeable. I thought I was pretty good at what I did. And this guy's telling me I'm an amateur. He says, Keith, you're an amateur because you are a generalist. I'm like, what do you mean by generalist? He said, you know a little about a lot of things, but you haven't mastered anything. And all of a sudden I realized what my problem was. My problem was that I was modeling what I knew. You see, I was in the church world because I'm a Christian. I'm a believer. So I was raised in this church world, and the model that I had was a pastor. And what I did at the beginning is I was modeling my expert empire around what a pastor does. You see, a pastor needs to be a generalist because, bless their hearts, I love pastors, But there is so much unrealistic expectation placed on a pastor because a church has so many different problems in the church. So a pastor has to know a little bit about a whole lot of different subjects. I mean, from money to marriage to raising kids to knowing God, all the different things they've got to know. What most pastors become is just generalist. Now that's a completely different viewpoint that my mentor started to teach me. He said, Keith, you need to be a well-known expert. That's what you need to model. You see, if I modeled a pastor, most pastors are broke. Why? Because they're generalists. But experts are some of the most wealthy people on the planet. Now, what is an expert? An expert, and how you model an expert, it's determined by this. Your wisdom determines your success and wealth. See, as an expert, you've got to gain wisdom on one subject. You got to know one subject more than anybody else on the planet, and that's going to determine your level of success. It's going to determine your level of wealth that you have. So the more you know about one topic, the more successful you will become and the more money you will earn. Now, as a pastor, the more you know about a lot of different subjects, the church thinks, wow, oh, my pastor knows a lot about everything. But you're not growing a church. You're out there to grow an expert industry. So I want to show you this case study that I did. When you look at all the major influencers in the world, here's what you'll find. You'll find that most of them zeroed in on one topic. Let me show you. When I say the name John Maxwell, who do you instantly think of? You instantly think of the word leadership, right? If I say the name Solomon, you instantly think of wealth. If I say the name Dave Ramsey, you instantly think of what? Debt. If I even say Michael Jordan, you instantly think what? Basketball. If I say Benny Hinn, you think of healing. If I say Billy Graham, you think of what? You think of salvation. If I say Joseph, you think of what? A dreamer. If I say the word Keith Johnson, if you know me, you'll think of the word confidence. Why? Because my mentor helped me zero in on the one word that I was going to master way back in 2003. And once I found that one word, I did 3 things to build my own expert empire. And I want to share these with you. Number 1, I decided what one topic I was going to build my whole empire around. And that's what you got to do. You see, most authors, speakers, and coaches that I talk to, I say, well, what's your one word? What's the thing you're going to build your whole empire around? What's the one problem you're solving? And most of them can't tell me clearly. And they give me a list of 8 different things. I can speak on this. I can talk on this. I know how to coach this. I know how to coach that. But they can never look me in the eye and say, I am a master of confidence. If you looked at John Maxwell, he'd say, I'm all about leadership. And it wouldn't be with him, well, I think I'm supposed to talk about leadership. No. It's not think, it's he knows. And once you get a confidence about what your one topic is, now you communicate with power and authority like Jesus did. So you got to decide. 1, not 50, not 3 different topics, not 2 different topics. You've got to master one topic. The second thing you do, once you decide what topic, the second thing you do is then you build your entire library around that topic. I teach my coaches in 83K Academy, throw out all your other books. Let's build a brand new library that's only centered on the topic you're going to master. And I encourage them to buy 100 books on that one topic and study it every single day of their life. Then the third thing you do is now you become prolific. That means you start writing about that topic. You start talking about that topic. You start posting about that topic. You start creating masterminds about that topic. You start creating coaching programs around that topic. You start creating consulting programs around that one topic that you have. You see, if you can't tell me, my friend, in one word, what your purpose is all about, you haven't really decided what your one topic is. And here's what I'm going to tell you. You are going to fail. Or you may not fail, but you may live in this barely getting by, barely scrimping by, and then you have to go get a part-time job driving for Uber. I don't want that for you. That's why I created 83K Academy. One of my coaches named Martijn Tilburg, and I want to show a picture up on the screen for you. He discovered his one word was innovation. And he built around that word innovation. And look at this. In one day, he made $1 million. Here's the proof of it. Hey, I want to show you a video that he just recorded the other day while he was driving around in his Maserati. Let's go in and listen to Martijn Tilburg.
Hi, my name is Martijn van Tilburg. I'm the owner of Four Rivers Media. We come alongside influencers to help bring their message to market. And we started our company in 2008. It was definitely a day of small beginnings. And we grew out to be a multi-million-dollar company, specifically doing business in the Christian space, helping Christian leaders bring their message to market. And along the way, I met somebody named Dr. Keith Johnson, and I just wanted to give him a shout out today. Keith Johnson has been a tremendous blessing. He is a godsend. I always look back to the 12 years that we've been in business, and there's different phases of growth that I can identify. And at the foundation of every growth spurt was a strategic alliance. And I can truthfully say that the relationship with Keith Johnson has been such a relationship. He's been a mentor, he's been a coach. His teaching has inspired me to think bigger. His coaching program has helped me to see beyond my current circumstance into the future. And it has definitely helped me grow the company. And, besides the favor of the Lord, Keith really has helped me become who we are today. And for that, I want to thank you. And I want to encourage everybody to check him out, find out what he stands for. He brings tremendous value. He's an out-of-the-box thinker. He is somebody that doesn't think small. So if comfort and small thinking and safety is your forte, don't do anything with him, because he's definitely going to get you out of your comfort zone. But as he does that, you'll experience something that you probably haven't experienced before. He's a great guy. You're going to love him. And I encourage you to connect with him. Keith, you're a blessing, man.
Hey, thank you, Martijn. Now, I want to give you a warning. You could spend your entire career building an expert empire around a wrong word. You got to be careful, because what if Martijn would have chose another word? It's a possibility he would not have the influence, nor would he have the income that he's generated. So you got to make sure you build around a one word that is aligned, number one, with your purpose. Number two, you build around a big problem that's in the earth that needs to be solved. Number three, you need to make sure that you build your word that people will pay you money to solve. So if you don't do that, you could spin your wheels all your life. And that's why you need a mentor to help you look at that one word and make sure it's the right one word. Now, there's another speaker, author, and coach that came into my life. She was struggling. Her name's Deborah Wright. She's from Canada. She was a struggling author, speaker, and she went through my 83K Academy. And I love it because she discovered her one word, and now she's known as one of the top coaches in the world. I want you to listen to Deborah Wright and what happened to her.
Hello, my name is Deborah Wright, and I am here to just share with you my experience and my journey. During the pandemic, I decided that I needed a change in my life. I was an event planner and I was totally burnt out and I didn't want to do it anymore. And I knew that something had to give. I needed a change. And so one day my brother decided that he was going to have a speaker online. And I joined that live and I met Dr. Keith Johnson. I followed him and I stayed in contact. And then he showed up one day and he talked about 83K Academy. I was like, okay, God, I want to do this. I am going to do this because I needed to change. So I decided, yes, I made a difference. I decided that I was going to do something about my life. And I got into 83K Academy. Let me tell you, I have never, ever looked back. Because the woman that I became through that process, I realized that I had something inside of me to share to the world, to help others. I discovered my one word, which is forgiveness. I am now your forgiveness coach. If people are hurting, I come alongside them to help them. And in order for me to realize that dream, I had to go through the process of 83K Academy. If you are sitting on the fence today about doing change with your life, don't wait another moment. Jump in today. Take action today. 83K Academy will change your life.
Wow, that is so cool. Deborah today is helping so many people out there really forgive people who've done them wrong and seeing people be healed by physical diseases and emotional healing. It's really powerful. I'm so proud of her. Now, some people out there, when you listen to them, they'll tell you you need to do all kinds of things to grow your expert empire. They'll tell you you need to post 1 million times across all these social platforms. They'll tell you you need to do all these reels. They'll tell you that you need to master YouTube. They'll tell you you need funnels. And the list just goes on and on and on and on of all the things that you got to do. But listen to me, my friend. If you don't find your one word, none of that other stuff matters at all. So until you find that one word, you're not ready to write the book. You're not ready to do a show on YouTube. You're not ready to create the funnels. You're not ready to do all this other stuff until you master that one word. That was the biggest mistake I made. Hey, let's go on to the second deadliest mistake that I made in my life. And here it is. I underestimated my own potential. Now, I want you to write that word potential down for me for a moment. Because what is potential? Potential is not who you are right now, but who you could be. See, who you are right now is not the divine possibility of what can happen in your life. Potential is not what you're doing right now, it's what you could be doing. And some of you are out there doing the wrong things because you don't believe in your own potential. Right? So you're not doing the right things. And when you're not doing the right things, you don't move into that next level of potential, which potential is what you could have. Not what you have right now, but what you could have. And then when you have something, now you're able to help others. So many Christians get this all mixed up, man. They have a big desire to help other people. But it doesn't start with help. First thing is you got to become the person that you're supposed to become. Then you'll do what you're supposed to do. Then you'll have what you're supposed to have so that you can help the people, the thousands, if not millions of people that you could help. That's potential. My mentor looked at me years ago in 2002, and he said this word to me, Keith, you are capable of way more than you think you are. I want you to hear me. You are capable of way more than what you even think of at this moment. You see, that hit me because in that phase of my life, I was looking at other speakers, authors, and coaches, and I would compare. And I would look at John Maxwell and say, I could never do that. I would look at T.D. Jakes, say, I could never do that. I'd look at Joyce Myers and say, I could never do that or be that big. See, I believed that it was possible for others. But what my mentor taught me was that I wasn't believing that it was possible for me. You know, I spent a year touring all the major cities in the U.S. and in Canada with Les Brown on the Get Motivated tour. And he would constantly say this quote. He said, if you argue for your limitations, you will keep your limitations. You see, the day my life changed was the day I said, wait a minute. If John Maxwell can do it, I can do it. Maybe not at the same level at a 10, but maybe I could do it at a 7. If Joyce could be the 10, maybe I could be the 7. If T.D. Jakes could be the 10, maybe I could be the 7. And I started thinking to myself, wait a minute, these people put on their underwear the same way I put on my underwear. And I started to look at people that I admire and say, wait a minute, these are people to model from, not to allow what they've achieved to cripple me from my potential. You see, looking at others and comparing with others caused self-doubt within myself. And doubt, my friend, is okay. All of us doubt. But watch this. Doubt is nothing more than a sign that I need more knowledge and I need more skills. Doubt should never paralyze us and cause us to stop us in our tracks. The other thing is fear, right? Fear. Man, I was like, man, if I get known, I'm afraid that it'll attract attacks. So I was afraid. And fear of stepping out and speaking and coaching and putting your message out there. Fear is just a sign that, wait a minute, I need to step out in faith. I need to walk on the water. And I need to take action. Not sit in the boat, hope, pray that doors will open for me. I need to start taking massive action in my life. See, my problem was I lacked confidence. I had all kinds of confidence in God, but I did not believe in myself. See, God needs you to believe in you. And man, the moment I said, well, God, I believe in you. Your belief in God's going to get you to heaven. But your belief in yourself, wait a minute, the God in me, I can do this, gives you the competitive advantage against those out in the world who don't have God on their side. Listen, I know some of you can look at me, see the things that I've achieved and go, wow, 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 he's just something special. But I want to show you a quick clip of a guy named Bernard Rose that I ran into. He was on this praise and worship team playing the saxophone behind the scenes, and he went through my 83K Academy. A real nice guy, great guy. But being around me caused him to be awakened to his potential. He'd been a speaker in a school for years, teaching kids. And all of a sudden he realized, wait a minute, if I'm a teacher in a school, I can teach others. And he went through my school, and today, now, he has his own radio show, and he published his first book. Let's listen to Bernard and how 83K changed his life.
Hey everybody, I'm Bernard Rose, and I have a radio program called Better Living for a Better Life broadcast. I'm really excited about that. And before I had that show, I was a person that lacked clarity. I didn't really know exactly what God had called me in the earth to do. I was very challenged with that because I was good at a lot of things. And so I was never really as focused as I needed to be, or should I say I was focused perhaps in the wrong area. And I had the privilege to go to 83K Academy. And one of the changes that took place there is that I was impacted by Dr. Keith Johnson to understand that I needed to get focused. I needed to get clarity about my specific calling, what God had called me in the earth to do. And through that process, I got focused. I got clarity. I got a word, which was the word better. And I learned from that my calling is to help people live a better life, to help them in many arenas to move from point A to point B. And in that process, I've got a clear message in terms of how to do that. And so after 83K, I've again been a part of a radio broadcast that's impacting people in the community. I have touched many folks who often tell me that. I'm now an author. I finished my first book called Winners Win: How to Beat the Odds and Succeed in Business. And I'm just so excited about the things that God is doing for me. I just want to encourage you to be a part of 83K Academy because it's going to make incredible changes in your life because Dr. Keith leaves nothing on the table. Hey, be a part of 83K, and I promise you, your life will change.
Thank you, Bernard. That's really awesome. See, my friend, you don't have to be at the level of John Maxwell, Joyce Myers, or even T.D. Jakes to make a big difference in the world, nor to make a fortune. You see, people are at that level. They're like phenomenons. These people are generating hundreds of millions of dollars a year. And maybe you'll never make $100 million a year, but there's possibilities for you to make 10 million. There's possibilities for you to make 1 million a year because there's all kinds of opportunities at lower levels that they can't serve, but you can. So let's go in to my third deadly mistake that I made. And it's this. I devalued myself by charging cheap prices. Oh, this is a big one. My mentor, he said to me, Keith, when are you going to stop putting yourself on sale? Ooh, that hit me hard. And he said, Keith, when are you going to decide that you're not going to be Walmart, that you're going to be Neiman Marcus? Oh, that was so good. You see, my friend, there is no competitive advantage of being the second cheapest in town. You see, you either want to be the rock bottom cheapest person, or you want to be the most expensive. You see, one of the things that we find, because once again, in the church world, we are surrounded, honestly, by the majority of people who go to church. They're either poor or they're struggling in middle class, living paycheck to paycheck. So in the church culture, guess what? Everything is what? Everything is cheap and everything is free. And if you offer something for free, hey, here's a free Bible. You are celebrated if you offer something free and cheap. Because Christians are like birds. They're cheap, 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 cheap. But in the world, which is where God called us, in the world, if you are cheap, they think your product isn't worth very much. In the world, the more you charge, the more valuable they perceive the product in their own minds. Think about this. Is the Louis Vuitton purse really that much different when you pay thousands and thousands of dollars for it as another purse that doesn't have the Louis Vuitton logo? Well, no, they still serve the same purpose. Just in the mindset of one person, because it's really high, oh man, that purse has to be made good, right? So when we look at this, we've got to realize that some of you, as speakers, authors, and coaches, you have put yourself and your services and your coaching on sale because it's a race down to the bottom to be the cheapest person. That's why I don't even like being called a coach. I like being called a consultant. Coaches bring breakthrough, but consultants bring blueprints. And the consultant will always make more money. That's why in 83K Academy, I teach you to be the consultant and charge a high dollar. My coach taught me that. He asked me one time, he said, Keith, in your coaching program, he said, what's your most expensive coaching program? I said, well, I've got this 12-month coaching program, and at the end of 12 months, they pay about $10,000 for my coaching program. He says, okay. He says, well, that's Walmart. That's putting yourself on sale, Keith. He says, here's what I want you to do. From this day forward, I want you to 10x what you charge. So instead of charging this $10,000 a year, I want you to charge $100,000 a year. Of course, at first I was like, what? $100,000 a year? He says, yes. I want you to charge $100,000 a year. Well, now you've got to start solving bigger problems for people. Because you always want to charge an amount that is, if they pay that amount, what you're going to do for them is going to 10x their value. So meaning, if I have a $100,000 program, I'm going to help them make $1 million or generate $1 million. Does that make sense? If I'm trying to help you as an author, speaker, coach, get 10,000 new people on your email address at 10,000, what I want to do is at 100,000, I want to help you get 1 million people that is in your email address. So I always want to give 10x value to what you pay for. And so that does two things, right? It forces you, number one, to add more value to your programs, to make them more valuable. And see, you don't get paid for your time, you get paid for the value you bring to the world. And once you bring a more valuable course, guess what happens? God understands this and God brings you clients. But when you don't have the program, God knows you don't have the program, and so the clients simply don't come. So one of the things I do in my 83K Academy, I help you, number one, break the limitations off your mind of charging more money. Number two, I help you develop the framework that you need to create programs that bring 10x value so that you can have confidence to say, yes, I charge $100,000 for my program because I'm going to help you build a $1 million expert program, expert business, or whatever you're into. So that's what I started to learn, and that's what I do now. So my fees are very, very, very high. Entry fee for my consulting is $120,000, entry fee. One business, as a matter of fact, I had my wife snap a picture the other day of a check of a business that pays me $50,000 a month. Let me show you that. Check this out. I just want to show you the proof of what's going on. You see, my friend, the wisdom secret here is people want what they feel like they can't afford. So the more expensive you are, the more people actually want what you have. Now, let me give you a little financial literacy test, because a lot of people think they know a lot about money. And if you're going to maximize your income, you got to understand money. So, question for you. What's your number one expense? What's your number one expense that you have in your life? Now, when I stand up in big stages and I ask that question, I'll get all kinds of answers. Some people say, oh, it's my house payment, my car payment. They'll come up with all these different insurance. So all these different answers will come to the surface. But almost nobody answers the top two biggest expenses. I'll start with number two. The second biggest expense that you have is taxes. Yeah, the money you have to pay to the government. If you're in America, it's somewhere in the neighborhood of 50 to 55% when you look at all the taxes that you pay. I'm talking about all across the boards. But the number one, drum roll please, the number one expense is this, is the money that you lost every single year because you didn't know how to make $1 million that year. Oh my. Man, when my mentor taught me that, I was like, whoa. That's how I lost $8.2 million. For a decade, I did not know how to make $1 million a year until my mentor came along and he gave me a map, M-A-P, a massive action plan on how to get to my million. And the first thing he said, Keith, before I give you the map, you first need to do the math. I'm like, what? He says, you need to know the math before you discover the path. And he asked me, he said, how much money are you making? And I says, I'm making $25,000 a year. He says, do you want to make $1 million? I'm like, yes. Oh, yes. I've been praying to God. And he says, Keith, stop. So I kind of thought, wow, this guy isn't very spiritual. He says, stop it. He said, let me ask you something. Do you know how much you need to make every single month in order to get to $1 million? And I was like, let me grab my, he said, no, don't, you shouldn't have to grab your calculator. He says, if you want to make $1 million, you should have that at target, and every single month, you should have a target of how much you got to make every single month, every single week, every single day. Whoa. He says, that's why you're never going to make $1 million. You don't know the math. That's where he showed me. Keith, it's $83,000 a month. Times 12 is $1 million. He said, Keith, now you have the math. You got to make $83,000 every month. Every week, you got to make $19,000 a week. And every day, you got to be focused on how can I make $2,700 in a day? I already showed you it's possible to make $1 million in a day. But once I got the math right, then I was able to start figuring out what the path to my first million was. So I want you to get this right here, right? I had to have the right model. I had to have the right map so that I could make the right money. The key word is right. Not making mistakes, not doing it wrong, doing it right. Some of you, right, when I say the right model, you need the right mentor. Some of you are listening to so many different people tell you to do a whole bunch of different things and you're confused. You've gone to this free challenge, that free challenge, that free seminar, this free boot camp, and you're getting so much information, you're on information overload, and that's your problem. And what I'm going to tell you, you need to stop listening to so many people and you need to find one person to listen to. Somebody like I found who's been there, done that as a speaker, author, coach, and consultant. So that you stop the confusion and then you get razor sharp focused on what you're going to do. Now for me, I teach my coaches that the number one way and the fastest way to build income, influence, and impact is by being a consultant. So I train you not only how to be a speaker, author, coach, I can teach you how to be a consultant to bring the blueprints people need to charge those kind of $50,000 figures, right? So you see, before, I used to think that it was going to be long and hard to build an expert empire. I thought before that I had to have a mega church. I thought I had to have like a television ministry. I thought I had to have 1 million followers on social media. And what I learned is that you don't have to have a super big name. If you notice all these people I'm showing you, these people don't have mega ministries, mega television ministries. They don't have big names, but they're making millions. And if they can do it, I'm just here to tell you, you can do it too if you have the right map. I want to show you a couple of people who are just ordinary people. The first one I want to show you because I want you to get in your spirit that you can do this too. Because I think so many of us, like I said, we underestimate our potential of what's possible for us. And this person right here, his name is James. He came to my 83K Academy. He was just a landscaper. And after he went through 83K Academy, he didn't stop landscaping. He had his landscaping business. But then he added on his expert empire by selling his coaching, selling his products, selling his seminars. And then he wrote a book. I want to show you this guy because there's nothing special about him. He doesn't have all these things. But he made an extra $100,000 last year after he went through 83K Academy. Let's listen to James real quick.
Hi, my name is James Mansky, and I'm an entrepreneur, a speaker, a coach, and Amazon best-selling author of the book Thinking Horizontally, and I went through Keith Johnson's 83K Academy. Keith's program not only helped me to shape my coaching and consulting programs, but also helped me to become a better leader, an all-around better person. I cannot give enough praise and speak highly enough for Dr. Johnson for the lessons I learned working in his programs. His course not only just helped me to define my program, my courses, but also became more effective and more personable, which led to impacting hundreds, if not thousands of lives in the last year and generating nearly 6 figures in the first year alone. So if you're looking to start coaching, creating courses or write a book, I highly recommend working with Keith Johnson and 83K. Trust someone that has impacted thousands of lives and continues to create massive amounts of impact in this world. So don't put it off. Don't kick it down the road for the next day. If you want to become a better person, a better leader, a better coach or author, make sure you work with Keith Johnson.
Hey, thanks, James. That was really powerful. I want you to see another guy that was going through a lot, man. His name's Justin Kane. He was doing a job that he hated and he wasn't successful at it. But he had this desire to be an author, speaker, and coach. So he went through 83K Academy. He came out on the other side on fire with a message and a purpose. And he knew his one word. Then he started building his expert empire. And literally, he's on the path right now to building $1 million in his first year. It's amazing. You got to listen to this. It'll inspire you that you can do it too.
Hi, my name is Justin Kane. Just in 2022, I went through 83K Academy with Dr. Keith Johnson, and grateful that I did. I was in a particular place in my life where I was transitioning from one particular way of career, trying to figure out what life looked like moving forward. And of course, as many of you know, maybe watching this, he's very insistent on finding your one word and getting into a place where you can think bigger than you're thinking at that present moment. And one of the things that happened with 83K is it kind of expanded my mind to see the possibilities of what could happen on a monthly basis. You know, we all have that desire maybe to become a millionaire, but to see that it's $83,000 a month translates into $1 million a year, it kind of expanded my mind. And so as a result, I'm now 14 months removed from that time in 83K, and I found a business partner, started a company, and we just in the 12th month of business hit the 83,000 per month mark, and we just crossed over the 100,000 per month mark this past January. So very grateful for someone who would continue to provoke another individual, myself, to think bigger, even in a season when I didn't know exactly which way to turn and where to go. And I'm grateful for that opportunity to sit in that place and expand my way of thinking. And 14 months later, God has done an amazing, amazing work. One that my mind is blown that someone could make in a business over $100,000 monthly reoccurring revenue each month. So thank you, Dr. Keith. It's been a pleasure to expand my mind and to go through 83K.
Wow, that was an amazing story, Justin. I'm so very proud of you. You see, my friend, the reason why my speakers, authors, consultants, and coaches are making so much more money and making a bigger difference in other people's lives, it's because they have learned to charge a premium price and not to put themselves on sale. To charge a premium price, you've got to become a premium person, and you've got to create premium products that help people solve their problems, meet their needs, and heal their pains. Now listen, when we look at this training here today, I basically have taught you what I call the 4 M's to help you create a $1 million expert empire. Number 1, I taught you need a mentor. One mentor who's been there and done that, who can help you. Number 2, you need a clear message. You got to find your one word and master it. Number 3, you need the right mindset. You need to believe in yourself and believe that you can make a big difference and you can make a fortune in this industry. Number 4, you need a map. You need a map on how to get from where you are to where you want to go. A new map. The old map, you got to rip it up and throw it away because it hasn't been working. And that's my job, to help you get the map. So I hope you've enjoyed this. I hope we haven't wasted a bit of your time. But now I want to talk to you about 83K Academy. Now I know this isn't for everyone. And if you don't have this intense desire to be a speaker, author, coach, and consultant, God bless you. You can go ahead and exit the program. But if you have that desire, see, I believe that desire is a sign of your assignment. An eagle desires to fly because it was designed by God to fly. You're here today because somehow, some way, shape, or form, you have this desire, and it's a sign from God that this is a calling on your life. And you've got to prepare, you've got to get ready, you've got to get informed, and you've got to develop skills in order to do that. So, I just want you to understand that I want to share with you this opportunity called 83K Academy. I told you at the beginning I would do this. And I want you to understand what we do here at 83K Academy. We mentor and train aspiring and experienced speakers, authors, and coaches to build information businesses that guarantee 83K a year, a month, a week, and a day. That's what we do. We help coaches be able to build these expert empires. Number 2, we give you the map. The map is the 4 quadrants that I teach. I call it the expert quadrant. We teach you to be a speaker, how to write a global story, how to get that story to market, how to create your signature talk. All centered around what? Your one word. See, if we don't discover your one word, we're not ready for any of these quadrants. We discover your one word, now we equip you as a speaker. Then we're ready to write. Write your books, write your manuals, write your newsletters. Then we help you with this quadrant, become an educator, to create courses, to create membership, to create events where you're educating people. The education business is the business that you're in. And finally, we take you over to the next quadrant, which is being a consultant. A high-ticket process, a high-ticket offer, and high-ticket clients, how to get them. You see, my friend, right here is how you build a $1 million brand centered on one word. And so this is the map and how I teach you how to build this thing around. Then the how-to. The how-to is this. I'm going to take you through 4 of my main courses. And what we do is we start off with Life Coaching Certification Academy. This is where you'll learn to become a certified life, leadership, church growth, and business coach. You see, the first thing you got to learn and be able to develop skill in is getting change and transformation to the person or the people or the group that you're speaking to, that you're helping. You got to help them get change and you got to help them get it fast. And so in this course, I teach you how to do that. Now, these courses are delivered to you by video over a 6-week period. So every day you're going to get a video, 1 hour a day. You can listen to it in the morning, you can listen to it at night. And I'm going to walk you through all the training that I learned over the last 30 years on how to become a certified life coach, leadership coach, church growth coach, and business coach. This is going to help you get change in people's lives fast. The next course I'm going to take you through is the high ticket consultant. I'm going to teach you how to command higher consulting fees from higher quality clients, even if no one has ever heard of you. You see, this course is designed to help you charge that premium price so that you can make more money to fuel your movement. Without money, you have no fuel to fuel your movement. And so I teach you how to go whale fishing. Fish for whales, not minnows. Whales have the money. Many of you, you're out there fishing for minnows, and you wonder why you're broke. You're fishing for the wrong type of fish. You need to go for whales. And I teach you how to get those high-paying clients, and I teach you how to have the high-ticket offers. Then next, we take you into Write Your Way to Millions, how to become a best-selling author so that you can impact more people's lives literally all over the world. And in this course, we teach you the A to Z's, everything you need to know about getting published, writing a book. We give you an outline, how to write a book in 7 days, how to write a book in 7 months. We give you the framework for writing it. So all you got to do, it's not hard. All you got to do is plug and play, and your book is ready to go. The final high-level course that we're going to take you through is Speak for a Change, becoming a world-class communicator. And in this course, I'm going to teach you how to write your global story. I'm going to teach you how to write a signature talk so that every time you come up on stage, you're connecting with people, you're changing people, but number 3, you're converting people. This is where many speakers really fail, because most speakers live for the applause and they live for the amens and the pats on the back. You don't want to live for any of those. You want to live for conversion. That the people who are listening, the whales who are listening, will come and say, hey, I need you to be my consultant. I need you to help me go to the next level. If they don't do that, you have failed in your assignment to really bring the transformation and change that's necessary. So let me be clear. 6 weeks. You're going to go through all of these top tier level courses that I've used to get my clients results throughout the years. Then you're going to get me personally every Saturday for 7 Saturdays of the 6 weeks. I'm going to come on live to answer any questions that you have. See, when people have questions and they don't get answers, they get stuck. And so I'm going to be there for you, holding your hand as you go through each one of these courses. You're going to be able to ask me questions. Every Saturday from 8 to 10 o'clock, I spend 2 hours with you answering your questions and coaching you and helping you discover that one word that you're going to need. Powerful time together. And listen, proximity is power. Proximity is power, and it's transformational. Getting around somebody who's already has that experience. It's easier to catch stuff sometimes than it is to be taught stuff. So that's the 6 weeks, and we limit it to only 5 to 10 students. So if you're interested in this, you need to sign up like really quick. And here's what you need to do next. If you have a desire to go to the next level with us, I want you to schedule what we call a strategy session. I'm going to give you a free strategy session. Now, this is only for those of you who are serious. I mean, you want to be a speaker, you want to be an author, you want to be a coach, you want to be a consultant, and you are serious. I want to talk to you personally. If it's not me, at least one of my other top tier coaches. But I'm hoping we can talk together. We can work it out in our schedule. All you got to do is simply click the link below, shoot me your email, shoot me your cell phone number, and then we're going to then direct you to my calendar where you can literally book a half-hour strategy session with me. All you got to do is go to 83knation.com/call. 83knation.com/call. That's all you got to do, and we'll direct you through the process of getting booked so that you and I can talk together. And again, I say this is not for everybody, but if you feel something in your heart We want to have a strategy session with you. And then if we feel like that it's a good connection with you and I feel like, hey, I really want to help you go to the next level. I want to invest my time in you. Then I'm going to invite you to apply for 83K Academy. So this is only a strategy session with you and I. And if we feel that chemistry together, I'm going to invite you to move into 83K Academy. Warren Buffett said a long time ago, he said this. He says, if you don't have a business where you make money in your underwear, you're going to work like a dog, a double D dog, the rest of the days of your life. You see, my friend, you've joined this broadcast, not by accident. You're listening to this, I believe, because God has directed you if you stayed on this long. See, I believe that now is the time for you to get into this industry. This is going to be the largest industry ever. This industry, the information industry, is creating the new rich faster than ever before. And now is the time for you to jump in. Now is the time for you to say yes to your calling, to your God-given destiny. Now is the time for you to overcome the discouragement of what you've gone through. And now is the time for you to build the knowledge and the skills that you need to quantum leap your experience. Now is the time to build a business that changes people's lives and makes you a fortune so that you can take great care of your family and you can be a contributor to the expansion of the kingdom of God. Hey, thanks for joining us today. Click the link down below and book your free strategy session with me right now. I'm looking forward to talking to you on the other side.